They grappled with each other in the public square of the main city Agade. Doorposts trembled and walls shook. Alalu defeated, then bent his knee to the ground as he fell on his chest. Alalu in hand-to-hand combat was defeated by Anu. Anu was now hailed as King Anu and was escorted to the throne room. Alalu did not return to the palace, and in all the commotion he stealthily escaped through the crowds, fearing that Anu might have him killed. Unbeknownst to others, the place of the celestial ships he hurriedly went. Into a missile-throwing chariot Alalu climbed. Its hatch behind him he closed. The forepart of the cabin chamber he entered, then to commander's seat he occupied. That which shows the way he lit up. With bluish aura the chamber filled. The firestones he stirred up, their hum-like music was enthralling. The chariot's great cracker he enlivened, a reddish brilliance it was casting. Unbeknownst to others, in the celestial boat, Alalu from Nibiru escaped. To a snow-hued planet called Ki, known today as Earth, Alalu set his course. By a secret from the beginning, he chose this destination. On Nibiru, exile was certain for Alalu, and his death likely. High above, in the safety of his celestial ship, Alalu watched the planet Nibiru. It was a gigantic sphere suspended in the void. The fire of eruptions, even if more tenuous, flickered, offering an exuberant glow. The radiance of its mighty fullness was the beauty of the skies of other worlds. Like an eagle, Alalu scanned the skies, admiring the beauty of the planet that gave him life. Then, controlling his celestial ship, Alalu turned to the vastness of the outer realms of space with Nibiru at his back. On one side, the darkness of space lay. On the other, the giant volcanic eruptions disappeared into the great dark sea. Thus, the planets and atmospheres that King Ensure had once studied and named after the ancestors became visibly to Alalu. Little Gaga, known as Pluto, offered its welcome. Then the celestial Antu, the bluish and sparkling planet known as Neptune, made itself felt, offering a good omen with its exuberant hue due to its pure waters. Enchanted by the beauty but following his course, Alalu found Uranus, the planet dedicated to An, with a blue-green glow. But his fate took the course of the first prince of heaven, Ansha. The rings were beautiful and resplendent and seemed to bewitch the celestial ship. Alalu appreciated the rings of the extraordinary planet that would later be named Saturn by humanity. But suddenly, a bad omen had weighed on his heart. A gigantic shadow prevented him from enjoying the far-sighted sun, plunging his entire ship into an icy twilight. It was the gigantic planet Kisha, also known as Jupiter. Swirling storms mixed different shades to the spots that occupied the planet. It was as if Kisha provoked intense lightning. Such activity caused Alalu to get lost in the immensity and for a lapse of time to be confused in the direction to be taken. Upon regaining consciousness of his mission, Alalu gazed at the sun in the distance, gaining space in front of Kisha, who was little by little further away. But his whole body shuddered and the fear of death found the warrior Alalu. It was the Hammered Bracelet, a cluster of rocks and stones grouped together like fatherless orphans. Ensure once told him that the region was protected by a huge asteroid belt. All the Atlantans who had tried to cross the region previously had lost their lives. The rocks swallowed up the sounding ships that came from Nibiru like wild, hungry lions. Alalu could sense other deceased Atlanteans as he could witness every explosion on every ship of every Atlantean that passed away. Fearing for his life, the valiant warrior Alalu took courage. He wasn't going to give up that easily. He knew that if the secret was true, if his ancestors hadn't lied to him or been wrong, then the gold would be found, and the glory of a heavenly reign was imminent. Thus, Alalu fought face to face with the rocks. He fed the ship's firestones and unleashed a deadly missile against the rocks, which slammed each other with the momentum. And then the weapons of terror were hurled into space. Open up to your king. I am Alalu, a warrior from Nibiru, equipped with a ship, weapons and missiles. He yelled to himself. Nothing will stand in my way. My destiny is glory. A heavenly reign has been prepared for me. As by spell, the Hammered Bracelet opened like a gate, and Alalu could see a path of immense darkness through the rocks. And passing through the hall opened in the hammered bracelet, Alalu could feel the glory of his fate. All other Atlanteans had died in this attempt, but not him. Alalu swiftly crossed the sixth planet in the account of the celestial gods. It was a reddish-brown planet known as Mars. His path led towards the sun. When suddenly he saw the new world. The planet was divided into 3 regions. It was covered in white by snow at the top and bottom, then blue and brown in between. It was the 7th planet, without a doubt, that was the legendary key, later known as Earth. Alalu circled the planet and could observe land and oceans, and then he turned on the equipment to check the depths. The penetrating ray was directed, and then the radar showed not only life, but heavy metals deep within its core. The gold was there. The lightning showed gold, a lot of gold. "I found it," said Alalu, but excitement soon gave way to fear when he realized what could happen, how to land safely. If it were on dry land, it could explode, and then he dies. And if it were in the waters, possibly the warrior would sink towards oblivion. For any decision, it seemed to be too late. The gravitational pull was strong, and his aircraft's wings glowed. The atmosphere was like an oven, finer than Nibiru's, and its net of attraction weaker. And then the celestial ship began to shudder. Impact seemed imminent, and his heart clenched in agony. And then there was a heavy bang, and small flashes were seen. The ship landed, and Alalu was thrown unconscious, becoming completely immobile, inert, and passed out. There was no dimension by which time could be measured, and with absolutely no sense, the once King Alalu managed to move and realize that he had survived. This was the moment when the first Anunnaki Atlantean arrived on Earth, also known as Ki. Regaining full consciousness, Alalu beheld that his ship had come down on dry land on the edge of wide marshes. Alalu opened the door of his ship. He observed the soil he was on and took his first steps on the beautiful, alluring planet. He walked among the waters of the marshland and shivered with the cold. He realized that he was a lone traveler, possibly exiled forever from Nibiru. In the new world, no one had received him, and so, there too, he was alone. He pondered his family, his reign, the battle with Anu, the dangers he had faced, and the hammered bracelet. Was he exiled from Nibiru forever? His once home seemed farther than ever before. Anguish gripped his chest, and then he returned to the ship to feed and drink from stored replenishments. That's when a deep sleep overcame him, a powerful